All right.
I break, sitting in a void, staring at my hands. The hands that could not save my wife, my child. She was right. I wasn't strong enough to bear the truth of her second sacrifice. Io could have lived. Io could have given us the child we always wanted. But she thought that future wasn't worth her silence. I wasn't worth it. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah,
I just wanted to see how long you'd wait.
What are you doing?
Low Charles. Low Charles, how are you?
Hello,
How's it
Colin.
going?
I'm good. I'm pumped. We got another
We're
chapter.
back.
Yeah, we're back
We got
in
chapter 10. Chapter
so
10,
much.
Broken.
Yes.
Broken.
Painful.
As the quote I just opened with stated, the aftermath of Io's second sacrifice is what we deal with in this chapter.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an important one, and I think it's going to be your favorite one because it's a lot of Roque, a lot of Roque in this chapter.
Yeah.
And maybe Roque at his finest.
Yes.
I think this is
Yeah.
maybe Roque's peak.
I agree.
So I'm sure you're very happy to dive into that.
Well, I'm glad you're the one, taking the reins on it, because otherwise I probably just would have skipped everything to do with Roque, and it would have been a two-page.
Very quick episode.
Yeah.
Before we dive in, I want to just say, as always, here be dragons and spoilers for all books and all things Red Rising. We will try and give you the heads up as we deem it necessary, if we deem it necessary. The only thing we'll try and really avoid is Book of Lorne, which Charles hasn't read, so
Yep.
I doubt it'll come up, if at all. Also, here be swearing, and here be all sorts of adult shit. It's very possible that we talk about some kind of event that may not be something you like to listen to or hear about. Totally cool, fine. Just, be aware. That's on the table. Violence and all sorts of stuff can be talked about in these books because they're in the books. So, as always, Pierce Brown created this amazing sandbox and we're just playing in it. So we want to thank him for both creating and allowing people to fuck around. My howl of appreciation goes out for a book.
Ooh.
Have I ever talked to you about The Killer Angels?
No.
Okay. It's Michael Shara. It won the Pulitzer Prize back in the day. It is a fantastic book about the Battle of Gettysburg.
Oh.
And it tells the battle from various POVs. So you get Joshua Chamberlain and you get General Longstreet on the south, and you get to see it from all the 4-day battle or 3-day battle from a bunch of different perspectives, different important people. It's very, very reminiscent of some of what we see here in Red Rising in terms of the style, the POV.
And it just anyone outside of this country, like Gettysburg was, they say, the turning point of the American Civil War.
That's a good point. I didn't realize that. I should have thought of that, but yeah, it's Gettysburg, maybe the most important battle of the Civil War, which probably makes it the most important battle in American military history.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Gettysburg?
Yeah, that from the late 90s or
early mid 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think we talked about it a lot back then when it came out.
Yeah, we did. And that's what this is based on.
Okay, yeah.
The book is what the movie's based on.
Okay, yeah. I remember enjoying it very much.
That's that whole Jeff Daniels plays Joshua Chamberlain, fixed bayonets. That was really, I mean, it was famous before the book came out, but people really didn't have as wide of an understanding or appreciation for the 20th Maine and Joshua Chamberlain until this book came out in, I want to say, the late 70s.
Hmm.
But it's a massive deal. It's I'm sure a lot of people have read it. It's a history class in, like, I don't know, freshman year of high school when you cover the Civil War or whenever.
Yes.
It's pretty consistently on the list of books you have to read. And it's one of my favorite, and it's my howl of appreciation because it's really informed a lot of my writing and reading and all that. So
Hell yeah. I
go
think it
out,
was a two
pick up.
VHS collection, wasn't it? When
Oh
it came
yeah,
out? Yeah,
oh
it was
yeah.
two
It's like
VHS
it was
tapes.
like 4.5 hour long
Yeah.
video or
Yeah.
movie. Book and Box Co. Just a shout out at the top here for the fantastic new logos and for Chuck's tumbler glass, which I thought I bought one, but maybe I have to go and maybe I put it in my shopping cart and never actually pulled the trigger.
Ah.
But I did buy,
Oh,
and now I have it on my bookshelf.
nice.
My little
Where is it?
bleeding
Oh, yeah,
bleeding
cool.
eye gold and red
Little
wolf head.
bookender. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's protecting your series.
It's so nerdy, but it's super
Yeah.
cool. I love it. I love the hell out of it. In fact, I'm kind of like, I want more. I want
Yes.
a Mustang head, and not Virginia's head. I want the head of a Mustang. Maybe a fox, a Telemanus
Little
fox. I don't know.
Sophocles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the opening salvos, and now are you prime, my goodman?
I am prime.
All right, let's dive into chapter 10, Broken. The recap I've got here. Harmony has set her plan in motion. She has used the rocket fuel of Eo's second sacrifice to motivate Darrow into incredible action. He is to be a bomber, maybe even suicide bomber, and take out the head of the society's snake at the Gala. He will use a Mickey-provided device, which I've decided to call not a IED, but an MPD, a Mickey-provided device to
All right.
kill the golds.
Yep.
I don't know if that's going to take
MPD.
off, but
I
we'll
don't know.
try.
IED, MPD.
We also learn her horror story of a background, and it's worth reading, if only because it's brutal, and Harmony is evil, but she didn't make herself evil. She didn't wake up one day and say, I
True.
want to kill people.
No.
When Darrow reconnects with the Jackal, we learn he'll be at the Gala. He suspects Pliny for the bombing because of its off-strategy vibe for Ares, and that Victra may well be in love with Darrow. Darrow is brooding again, as he is wont to do, always brooding. Albeit, though, this time he's brooding with good reason. He can't even hide it anymore, and Theodora notices, as do his friends. He tussles with the guilt of his past and the unearned kill of his actions to come. So like he's struggling with the fact that he's gonna have to kill all these people. He can't really decide how he's gonna go forward until Theodora spills some wine.
Yeah.
And
I was wondering if you're going to touch on
somehow,
this. It seems like a weird interaction, but. Yeah.
yep, I'm that fear in her eyes is the answer, I guess. And makes him make up his mind. His mind is made up to carry out the bombing. Darrow goes to Roque, and this may be the very best of the poet of Mars.
Yeah.
He dishes on the brothers' wrath. We learn a little bit about the Valley Wrath brothers. He has a very Regency Victorian era vibe to the whole Valley Wrath story. Roque also spits some dimes, and then tells a wonderful parable to Darrow. Then Darrow jabs him in the neck with a knockout juice because he's being a good friend, I guess. Right off the top, you mentioned it. I wanted to hit on it, but the Theodora thing, it never really connected for me how her spilling the wine and then frantically trying to clean it up and then whatever worked to motivate him to then go and kill all the golds. Am I missing something?
Yeah, from what I read, or how I read it, was that this Theodora, she's obviously a pink. She was a rose at one point, um, but Darrow specifically has never seen her make a mistake, ever. However long they've been together, the last year or 2 years, and she's always done everything perfectly. She's always done anything asked of her, but she's starting to notice that there's something wrong with Darrow. Darrow's playing with this internal idea: am I going to blow things up? Am I not? Am I going to kill myself? Am I not? And Theodora can sense it and feel it, and she slips up and then spills on his uniform, this all white uniform, which he's supposed to wear to the gala, and she immediately breaks down to the point where it's like all these flooded history emotions and how she was treated growing up and everything like just came out, and she's breaking down, she's crying, she's freaking out. And it's such a unique twist where I think Darrow saw it and is like, she is now just seeing me as a gold. She's now seeing me as like the top of the pyramid, and she's did something wrong. She's messed up. She's afraid of me immediately, even though they've known each other for years and they've never treated bad things to each other, but she immediately retreated to that fear. And that somehow solidified his thought process of these golds are bad. Like we need to break apart this system, and maybe if I annihilate all of these ones at the gala, maybe that'll be a big enough change. But I don't know. Sometimes it's the weirdest little moments in your own personal life where you stub your toe, and then all of a sudden you have like a paradox, and you're like, "Well, this is why the life is the way it is." It's like you have these weird moments that tie
For
things
sure.
together. So
It
that's
makes
how
sense.
I read it.
It's that's how I read it too. I don't know. It didn't feel like 100% that was enough to then be like, I'm going to
The
go in there and
deciding.
kill all the golds, including Mustang. Like 2,000 people are going to be incinerated because this old house lady spilt wine on a carpet or on my uniform.
On my yeah, all white. That's the
Yeah,
only reason he was
I
really
do get
wearing
it. But yeah,
black. Because
it is.
everyone was supposed to be showing up wearing all white and all
Oh,
this,
yeah,
and
yeah,
he had to end up wearing the all black military uniform because that one was busted, or not busted, it was ruined.
yeah.
So
But yeah, so that we had the same read on that. The general discussion now, two episodes ago, I took 45 minutes here, so I'm going to keep this quick. But in this chapter, we have a reference to Dante. Roque says that he was as lost as Dante before Virgil. That is a reference to Dante and his Dante Alighieri, who is a Florentine author, famously maybe the most important Italian author of the medieval period. He actually, Julie and I were at his house when we went to Florence last year.
really,
Yeah,
yeah,
famous. If you've heard of Dante's Inferno,
yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is
Purgatory.
that. Yeah.
Yep. He was a super famous poet, writer. His version of written Tuscan Italian eventually kind of becomes the accepted version of Italian spoken and read.
And I should clarify, I only know of it from the video game Dante's Inferno, but that was inspired from that, and it's like a weird God of War type action video game, but it's very twisted and like the seven hells and all that.
Then it sounds very much like Dante, because when Roque is talking about this, Dante is traveling through hell, and he eventually finds Virgil comes along to guide him through. Oscar Wilde is referenced in here. Oscar Wilde's a very famous playwright. He wrote the Importance of Being Earnest, and he's a poet, and he is a kind of like a socialite wit of the Victorian era UK. I want to say he was openly gay, but I know he was gay. He was a very important figure in the gay community. And I want to say he was openly gay, but I know he was arrested. I want to say his partner was also arrested and imprisoned for years.
Yeah.
I think it was because of Winston Churchill. I think Churchill was the one who, but
Really?
I don't remember 100%, so don't quote me on that. I
Yeah.
might be wrong there.
We do know in that
Lord
time period
Byron
that
is,
was definitely frowned upon and it looked down upon to be
I
homosexual
mean, it
or
was
anything.
illegal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was actually in the books as illegal.
Yeah.
Lord Byron is mentioned in there. And Lord Byron is another famous romantic era, maybe the creation point of, or the culmination of the romantic era, poet writing and poetry. He's famous for uh, Don Juan. I
Hmm.
think it's called Don Juan. I'm not. I hate
I've
poetry,
heard that.
so
Yeah.
I've no idea if that's right.
But you like Roque.
Um, I don't like Roque. I just
Uh,
don't hate Roque. I don't feel like Roque is the be all, the worst person in the world. The other
yeah.
thing important, just for a cultural tying point, Lord Byron is the guy who challenged Mary Shelley to write a short story.
Hmm.
And then Mary Shelley wrote her first short story. I want to say she was 18, and it was Frankenstein,
Oh.
which most people attribute as the origin point for science fiction writing in general.
Oh, really? Huh.
So we've gone full circle. Lord Byron, Mary
Yeah.
Shelley's egging on, writes the first science fiction. Now we're talking about a science fiction series,
Huh.
200 years and change later. Interesting little connection there.
Hell
That's all.
yeah.
Thread of life is mentioned at some point. I think Darrow says something about how his thread of life is strong or whatever, and that's a reference to the Greek mythology, Greek myth, where there are three goddesses: Crones, Clotho, Lechisis, and Atropos, and they are all spinning and unspooling and then cutting the threads of life. Everybody has one. There's another reference. You see this in a lot of fantasy writing, medieval writing, historical fiction. It's a term called blackguard.
Yeah.
You blackguard,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
blackguard.
like a almost an insult, but or blackguard.
It's an insult,
Yeah.
but I could never. I've always read it and I understand that it is an insult, but I wanted to
Yeah.
know where it's from.
Yeah.
And so I dove into it. Often found along the phrase King Kitchen, this group of followers in the medieval period were in charge of carrying coal, the pots and kettles and various items of furniture for the cook. So they would travel around with the kitchen, and there would be the king of the kitchen is the cook. The blackguard would be the guys who carry around the coal buckets, because the coal would make their faces and hands and everything black,
Hmm.
and they were guarding the fire of the kitchen.
Huh.
So that's where that comes from. I don't know why it's an insult. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. And neither did Google. Google was unable to really give me much.
Fail, Google.
The last
Fail.
point I want to make on this chapter, this is the first chapter where we get a reference to Sevro's predilections for unicorn
Unicorns.
porn.
Yeah.
And I can now definitively tell all of the listeners out there, it does exist, and I highly recommend you do not look it up. Do not type in unicorn porn into your Google search, because there's a lot, and it's chaotic. It's frightening. I'm a grown man, and I was like,
You threw your phone out the moving vehicle.
very much was like, what? What? And
No.
every time I scrolled like 3 or 4 down, and I was like, whoa.
It keeps
Like every
coming.
time it got more intense, and I was like, whoa, this is just
Wow.
to each their own. As long as everybody's consenting adults and everybody
I
is
want to know.
of the right mind and in good frame of mind and
Yeah.
all that. We're not kink shaming. Do your unicorn thing all day. But yes, for those
It
that are
was
curious,
more than you thought. Yeah.
it does exist. It is frightening, and it definitely seems in line with what Severo might like.
I checked my notes, and as we were going over this chapter, I was wondering if you were going to find some sort of link to the messages that Severo was sending. So I'm glad you did your homework and you are scarred, or, I want to know more. I almost feel like I need to look it up now.
I don't think you do. I don't think you
Okay.
do, particularly because you have unicorns all over your house. I'm sure
Oh,
there's
okay. Yeah.
drawings and stuff, so you don't need that
All right.
clanging around in the back of your
Yeah.
brain.
All right.
Yeah. So to finish the opening quote, this is the last bit of that. I feel something deep in my chest, a hollow, cold ache. Like blackness has opened in the pit of my soul, even as my body tightens and coils around grief. I weigh 1,000,000 pounds. Shoulders slump, chest compresses. My fingers clutch together. Funny to think these hands have been with me this whole time. They touched her lips. They helped pull her ankles. They buried her in the soil. But they didn't just bury her, did they? No. They buried another life, one unborn, our child, dead before it lived, and I never even knew. I mourned without knowing the greatest injustice. I failed them both. So, pretty incongruous to
Yeah.
jump back into that quote right after our discussion of unicorn porn,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Well, interesting
I think
segue.
that I think that's one of the best descriptions of physical manifestations of grief and loss.
Hmm.
Obviously, way more intense a loss than I can speak to. Not ever having witnessed my wife, who's pregnant, be executed in public and help
And
to
hang on
pull
our
the
feet.
feet
Yeah.
and then bury her. But I know what Pierce Brown's writing there, that
Hmm.
sense of failure and deep rooted weight and inability to do anything about having done the wrong thing or not having done anything, and been unable to stop someone from doing something. These just they cracked me up a bit when I read it.
Yeah.
Not cracked up in like a laughing way, in like
No.
a
Yeah.
very like kind of heartsick. And even though I think, like we talked about, the reveal of the baby was telegraphed and that information was seeded in the story of Red Rising, if you looked and if you thought about it, this just hit in a way upon the reread here that I wasn't anticipating. I just
Yeah.
read it and it's I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, I question. So she died. Darrow pulled on her ankles and basically finished her off. And then he knows taking her down and burying her also means he's forfeiting his life. He knows he's going to be dead the next day. What what if he actually knew she was pregnant? What if he had done something differently? If he knew not only did she die, but our unborn child died, would he have, you know, started an uprising then, or would he have still
Yeah,
risked it, pulling her down
yeah,
and
I get
then
what you're saying.
killing himself? I don't know how much. That's what I want to know, how much it would change. But the weight of it, I thought he was going to be so distraught. He just saw this video. He's rewound it multiple times. He keeps hearing her say, "I'm with child. I'm with child." I thought he was immediately going to grab Harmony by the throat and just pop her head like a zit. I thought he was just going to snap, and he didn't. He hugged her. That's what I was like, oh, no, she's just using you. She's manipulating you. I thought he was going to kill Harmony. This was been the camel that, the straw that broke the camel's back in my mind.
That would have been fucking crazy.
If he just,
If
and then,
he just snapped her neck just
yeah,
because she gave him this information. I think it's a testament to the quality of Harmony's manipulation.
yeah,
Her machinations and ability to kind of twist Darrow into a pretzel here
yeah,
is why he reacts the way he does. It's always bad when it's like this, when the abused party thanks the abuser for abusing them.
yes, yeah,
That's what we have with Darrow here, where he's like, so oblivious to what's actually happening that he thinks, oh, she's doing
She's
right
on
by
my
me
side. Yeah, she's helping
by
me. Or
sharing this with me. And
yep.
it's like, dude, dude, you don't know.
No.
She's fucking crazy.
Yeah, every time he lost his wife, he basically committed suicide, and he gets drugged, ripped back up out of the ground, and he meets this miserable person who's just constantly shitting on him, trying to beat him up, trying to kill him, threatening to kill him, telling him he's nothing. When they start training, she's always trying to whip his ass until a point where he ends up being stronger than her, and physically she can't beat him anymore. So then mentally she's still just fucking with him. But now that I think of Lazarus, actually, my brother texted me yesterday. He just got to the point where it says Lazarus has risen. So I know,
um,
my brother's started off and he's reading through the first couple chapters of Red Rising. So I'm pumped for him.
okay.
Hope
Which
you
one,
continue
Andy or
on.
David?
Andy. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's making some stuff. So he's trying to
I know. We
build his
might have
Etsy.
something there down the line.
Yeah.
The next couple of quotes are just one-offs. We don't need to go too deep into them because there's one big quote that I want to hit.
Yep.
And this is Roque talking about. Oh, this is just a phenomenal line.
Oh, yeah.
He always thinks because I'm reading, I'm not doing anything. There is no greater plague to an introvert than the extroverted. I think that's a great line. It's also, it's a great example of reading is not it's not a static thing. It's not like
No.
watching TV. If you're not reading with intent and trying to think about things as you're reading and writing down lines, whether it be in a fiction or a nonfiction. I mean, I've got notebooks of
Yeah.
things and I'll probably never go back to them. I know it's stupid, but it's not a passive activity. It is a very active thing. And so Roke is
I'm glad you brought that up because
mentioning that.
it's just you're not doing nothing. You're involved when you're sitting, you're reading, you're enjoying a story. Like you said, mentioning, I have a whiteboard that I actually have that I usually wrote stuff on until I made a notebook, and it's like these cool quotes, these fascinating things, and it gives you inspiration for other things or your life. It's reading does more than just sitting in a corner thinking you're wasting time. So the people that think that, you can go, fist yourself.
I don't know about that, but maybe go try and read some more.
Yeah.
There is no greater plague to an introvert than the extroverted. Is my wife would love that line. She totally, she hates that I'm like the way that I am.
Yeah.
I mean, she loves me. I love her, but I'm very often like, oh, let's go hang out with these people or go to this event or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like,
shut
leave
up.
me alone.
Yeah.
I just want to be in the house.
Yeah.
The conversation about the brothers Valley Roth.
Oh, yeah.
The brothers Roth, they are terrible, terribly rich, terribly talented, and their chief virtue lies in their ability to sin. They're prodigies at it. And then he goes down further to say, Darrow asks Roque what happened, because the brothers started a nightclub.
Yep.
And Roque says, ruined daughters, sons, insults, duels, dead heirs, debt, poison. It's the Wrath family. Sometimes I feel like, and so that just ended. And I really like that because it's very, very Victorian era.
Yeah.
High class, like ruined sons and daughters, heirs, debt, poison. I love that.
Yep.
Then Roque has this very open moment with Darrow, and he says, sometimes I feel like you understand all of us better than we understand ourselves. Then other times it's like you couldn't care less. I think that's a very fair read with Darrow.
Yeah.
I think he does know them better than they know themselves, and yet also doesn't care. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he does. He just doesn't want to care. That's so,
that
again,
might be fair.
he's playing back and forth, and he doesn't realize how easy it is for him to like step into those shoes and actually care and interact. And then he has to remind himself, oh shit, I'm supposed to keep a distance. I'm supposed to not get involved. I'm supposed to not fall in love with a gold. Like, so, and then it's almost like he pushes back too much. It's that internal struggle. How does a spy remain a spy? How do you make that perfect balance between reality and this fake persona you're putting on? It's difficult. It's twisting.
And the boundaries are so
There are no bound. It's
much.
all muddled
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
intertwined, and like, what is a boundary at that point? Like,
Mm.
you're you're meant to become one of them, but then hate them. But you
In
can't
fact,
show
if
that
you,
off because then you're going to fail in your objective. So it sucks.
it's like the only way for him to succeed is to be loved by them and create the environment in which those that would be returned.
Yeah.
So the only way for him to succeed is to lose everything that makes him a red.
Yeah. 100%. And yeah, but then you still have to keep it enough where you can use it to flip them. There's so much love you share together and be like, okay, well, I need to tell you the truth. I am a red and I need you to now follow me. So you have to pretend to be a gold to a point to appease the golds, but then also to fall back and be like, no, no, now you need to join forces with me. It's, and how do you fight through all that and not end up hating and loving these people at the same time?
Well, we're going to come back to that at the end of this because I have there's a point here where Roque says something that is very interesting for him.
Okay.
But before that, he tells one of the best little parable stories in the entire series.
Oh,
And it's simple. It's very simple. And it's like um, it's just a it's a simple, sweet little story. So, uh, there's a this is Darrow talking about Roque. There's a stillness in him, vast and majestic. The same stillness I remember in my father. Roque, speaking now, says, Quinn once told me a story. Once in the days of old Earth, there were two pigeons who were greatly in love. In those days, they raised such animals to carry messages across great distances. These two were born in the same cage, raised by the same man, and sold on the same day to different men on the eve of a great war. The pigeons suffered apart from each other, each incomplete without their lover. Far and wide their masters took them, and the pigeons feared they would never again find each other, for they began to see how vast the world was, and how terrible the things in it. For months and months they carried messages for their masters, flying over battle lines, through the air, over men who killed one another for land. When the war ended, the pigeons were set free by their masters. But neither knew where to go, neither knew what to do, so each flew home. And there they found each other again, as they were always destined to return home and find, instead of the past, their future. He folds his hands gently, a teacher arriving at his point. So, do I feel lost? Always. When Leah died at the Institute, his lips slipped gently downward. I was in a dark woods, blind and lost as Dante before Virgil. But Quinn helped me, her voice calling me out of my misery. She became my home. As she puts it, home isn't where you're from. It's where you find light in when all grows dark. He grasps the top of my hand. Find your home, Darrow. It may not be in the past, but find it and you'll never be lost again.
hmm.
So you hate Roque, but he's a very thoughtful, kind, sweet guy who's just trying to help a friend who's down.
Even a broken clock can be right, twice a day.
Oh, wow.
He's a piece of crap, but he can spout some good stuff from time to time.
Do you agree with him?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, that's one of my favorite lines of the series is actually when, home is where you find the light in the darkness. It's like home is what you make of it. And you could be in your worst case, down, everything's going to shit. You lost loved ones, you lost friends, but you need to find that new glimmer of hope, a new shining light to kind of pull you along. And home is wherever you make it.
Hmm.
But I think it's a beautiful passage. I just like the feelings that Darrow and Roque have and the actions that Darrow then does at this point, because then it just confuses things later on. But
Okay.
yeah, do
All
you
right.
like
Well,
it?
then
I know you like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it particularly for some reason. It really, I think the whole setup is great.
Yeah.
It's Roke explaining to Darrow why Darrow has to do what he's about to do. And in that, if you dwell on the past and EO, and she is everything that drives you forward,
Yeah.
that isn't necessarily the home that you want to build.
It's
And so I
yeah.
think it gives Darrow, although he's still, I think when he leaves this room, he's still planning on blowing everything up.
Yeah.
I think right here we're seeing the first hint of, well, maybe I don't have to
Questioning.
kill everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do it in a way that leaves some of these people in my life. Um, there's also an element to it. I love anything that kind of talks about the beginning of World War
But
One.
I don't even think
And
I
then,
don't think Roque even believes these words himself though. Because if Roque
well, hold
believes
on,
these, oh, okay.
because we're about to get there.
Yeah. All right.
But there's a line in there where he's like, on the eve of a great war.
Mhm.
And there's one of my favorite lines from just history is the British Foreign Secretary, Sir, uh,
Ruined.
1914, British Foreign Secretary was Sir Edward Grey.
Okay.
And Sir Edward Grey famously was talking to somebody on the night before the war really begins. Like everybody, the Archduke is assassinated, the armies are all mobilizing. And he has this line where he says, the lamps are going out all over Europe, and we shall not see them lit again in our lifetime. And it's just that impending doom and that
Hmm.
the chaos of what's about to come. And Roke this is kind of that moment of there's doom on the way and nobody knows what's coming. And I think it's a great little passage. And
Hmm.
Roke sees Darrow and knows him well, but here he is. He's speaking to the audience as much as anyone.
Yeah.
You know, this is a moment where Pierce Brown is talking to the audience.
Yep.
He's telling you home, love, safety.
That's a fourth wall break. Yeah.
Yep. We're all untethered and lost, but we are bound in love for each other when we find our homes. Like
Hmm.
that's what keeps us tethered. Um, And so I think it's a great little bit. But you hit on something that I think is important in
Yeah.
that does Roke believe
I
what
don't,
he's saying?
no. I think he's a poet that
Um,
finds this beautiful passage, but I don't think he even believes it himself. Because what if, let's just say, a perfect gold and Roke's talking to another gold and he's just like, you follow your path, you follow your love, wherever your home is, you create it together. Well, what if that gold friend of his, loves a red or loves another color and then they decide, well, this is our home. He would immediately be like, no, you're fucking wrong. This is the society. You can't do that. I don't.
okay, so that's going to bring me to my final quote from this chapter because
Okay.
it's very much in your realm there. Darrow talking here says, to see her, to die and find home again in the Vale with my wife. But if that's true, why am I not full? Why does the hollowness grow inside me the closer I draw to her?
Hmm.
It's time to go, I say, rising from the bed. As sure as you're my friend, as sure as I'm your friend, Roke begins to rise as well. You will recover from this. We are not our station in life. We are us, the sum of what we've done, what we want to do, and the people who we keep close. You're my closest friend, Darrow. Mind that. No matter what transpires, I will protect you as surely as you would protect me if ever I needed it. I surprise him by clasping his hand and holding it for a moment. You're a good man, Roke. Far too good for your color. Thank you. He squints at me as I release his hand, and he straightens the wrinkles in his uniform. But whatever do you mean by that? I think it's really interesting
Hmm.
that Roque is echoing everything that the Rising's saying. You're not your station. You're not, what your name is or your breeding or your class. You are, people are what they've done, what they want to do, and the people
Yeah.
that they keep around them. Their found families, their acts, and their actions.
I think he's only referring to gold families. Gold.
I think you're right.
Yeah. He's only, well, you can do whatever you want. We're at the top of the society. Of course, you can be what you want. You can love what you want as long as it's gold. But yeah, love what you want. Do what you want. Gold. That's, he says and spouts all this beautiful shit, but then he would be doing things differently. He'd be flaunting with pinks and lower colors.
But he
You know,
does.
what? He doesn't like have relationships with lower colors.
Yes, he sure does.
I don't
And here's a
remember that.
spoiler if you've not
Yeah, I don't
read
remember that.
Morning Star, who opens the door to the bridge of the Morning Star.
I'm glad this isn't a question. Oh, we didn't do questions today.
Oh shit, I forgot.
All right, that's all right.
But yeah,
I
who
got it
is
right
it?
then. Oh, fuck, I don't remember.
It's his pink girlfriend.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, that was
So-
like, and that's probably he's a gold, and that's probably his slave.
But
And,
no, he's like heartbroken by the
I'm gonna-
betrayal.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
He remember Darrow's like he's stricken, and it's clear that his heart is broken by a lover that's betrayed him.
That whole command deck scene was actually pretty awesome. There was like two chapters of it, and it's
a great
pivotal
sequence. It's a great sequence, but it implies that he has an open enough heart to find a pink beyond just
that he
a
cares.
sex slave. Like, she's not in his like bedroom. She's on the bridge of the warship as he's achieving his greatest victory, ending the Rising. So you can imply that he wants her there to see him achieve the victory of his life, which means he feels something for her.
But is that
I don't
enough?
know. Maybe it's headcanon. Maybe it's headcanon. But I don't know. I think. Well, and this is the question.
Well, that's towards
that
the
comes
end
up
too. That's maybe when he starts questioning things and things start. He starts kind of maybe sticking up for himself and making his own decisions. But at this point in this chapter we're on now, I think he's wholeheartedly all for gold supremacy, the society as a whole, and he just spouts this shit because it sounds fascinating to him, but he's not applying it fully. He's not applying it to their real life.
I think you're right. I think if you read that, we're not the sum of our station in life.
Yeah.
He can loosely apply that to the various colors.
Yeah.
But really, like you said, I think he's just saying that you don't have to be a red, or you don't have to be the pauper son of gold asteroid farmers who failed. Like, you can eventually become like a lawyer or something. Good on you.
And he is a good person. He tries to raise funds to buy Darrow's contract. Like, he cares for him. He wants to like make sure he doesn't get killed by the Bologna family, but
and here, the other thing too is he also loves the Howlers.
Yeah, but those are golds as well. They're all
true, but they're rusty,
lesser. They're lessy. They're bronzies. They're
bronzies.
Yeah.
And so that implies that he's open and open-minded enough to find the weaker of his own color to be acceptable. I don't know.
But he still sees himself above them.
I would love to know if Pierce Brown has ever said in an interview or anything whether or not Roque would have sided with the Rising or not. If somebody's heard that, let us know, because I'd love to know, because
if
this
not,
is really
we shall
the
ask
opening
him
of
at
that
the next
debate.
Nexus.
Yes.
If it has not been asked, we should get a list going of some mind fuckery
I also
questions.
had one last thing because Julie and I had to put our dog down this past year.
What? When?
Fox. Yeah,
Oh, yes,
Fox.
yeah, fuck. I thought you, oh, Jesus. I was like, no way, the
Um,
new Burmese mountain dog or whatever the hell it is.
oh no. No, Hooper just showed his fucking head in here a minute ago. He looks
Oh,
like he's ready to rip my face off. But this is a shout out to Pierce Brown for his writing because I read this, and because of the situation with Fox, it immediately got me in the gut.
yeah.
This is when Darrow injects Roque with the knockout juice so that basically Darrow makes the decision that Roque is too good
Hmm.
of a gold he's like too good of a soul to kill.
We all make
So
mistakes.
he's not going to allow him to become collateral damage at the gala.
Hmm.
So he injects him. Then he sees the automatic syringe in my left hand. His hands are too slow to stop me, but his eyes are quick enough to widen in trusting fear, like a loyal dog as he's put slowly to sleep in his master's lap. He doesn't understand, but he knows there's a reason. Yet still comes the fear, the betrayal that breaks my heart into 1,000 pieces. I'm getting choked up thinking about it right now because it's
Yeah.
like it's a great example of I could picture exactly the face that Roque was making.
Yeah.
Now he had
This trusting.
the face of a dog because
Yeah.
that's my instant thought, but that idea of like, I know that this is supposed to be good and you're doing this to protect me, but I don't understand why.
But
I'm
having that
scared,
trust.
and that's like brutal.
And he doesn't know it's a sleeping drug. He could just be like,
he
he
could
could
be
be killing
him.
me. But having
For
that
sure.
realization is like, I trust in you. That's deep.
We're going to be coming back and forth on this for sure. But
Because, yeah, all right, yep.
Because I think it's an ongoing conversation about whether or not Roque would have changed. Because I think there are off ramps where he might have.
He could have, yeah.
You know,
if things didn't play out, certainly.
And I think if Darrow is more open with him and say brings in another soon to be found out person who's on the rising side, and
if he listened to Mustang,
I think that there's some element there. One question last question that I wanted to cover here is, do you think Darrow is kind of knowingly giving himself up to Roque?
so I was going to bring this up. I almost felt like at this point, Darrow wants to commit the bombing. It's like he's in his mindset, he's going to do it, but also he's been shut down constantly. It's failure after failure. He finds out Dancer is dead. This is supposed to be the end. And then he even admits to himself, he's like, you know what? If it comes out and I failed and the bombing didn't happen or whatever, Roque's going to realize when he wakes up, I am who I am. And it's almost, he felt relief in that aspect. And he's like, you know what? I've been doing this for years. He's almost like, I want it to be known. I want to stop hiding and like make that next step and just, so I feel like deep down a little bit, Darrow, he's like, I care for Roque. I want him to survive, but I also want this secrecy to be just over with.
Yeah. Stop living the lie, that kind of thing.
And then if we're moving on and the rising is continuing, let's get to the next damn step. But, this whole twisted mindset, I'm supposed to care for you, I'm not supposed to care for you. This is a good culmination of like, it needs to make a change. There needs to be a different direction. And now's the point. As soon as he sticks him with that needle, he knows his path is locked. At least Roque is going to know the truth. And is that going to work out for his favor or not? We shall see.
I also, is it an act of love by Darrow or selfish as hell?
Oh, it's both, but I feel like it's more.
If you're Roque and you wake up tomorrow and everybody you know and love is dead because your best friend blew them all up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to wake up like that. I think I might, there's that survivor's guilt that he's going to have for the rest of his life of like, I should have been in that room. I should have been in that room. Maybe if I were there, something could have happened.
It's both, I think. I mean, it's an act of love because you want them to survive, but then it's also his own narcissistic, I saved you, but I killed everyone else. It's confusing. And it all tends up
Hmm.
how much Roque loves and cares
Wait,
for Darrow.
so it's all about how much Roke loves and cares about Darrow, and it's confusing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
do you understand why Roke is the way Roke is now? All of a sudden, you're like, I kind of get why Roke is the way Roke is.
I plead the fifth. I don't know. It's confusing. Hmm.
The
No,
last thing
I
in
don't.
this,
This is only fun. Like how much I enjoy poetry sometimes, and like Roque always throws these lines out, and it's so awesome. But I have to admit, within the first book, and I had fun with it. Like all these similarities that kind of piece together. It's like, why is Roque always involved? He's a piece of shit. But it's these one-liners. If I pull out my notebook of all these quotes and lines, it's stuff that like Roque would
mm,
say that I would like later kind of write a little love note to my wife, and it's things like that that
oh yeah,
actually are very deep and
oh yeah.
meaningful, and you can interpret them in so many different ways to relate them to yourself. And I have an understanding and love for Roque, but I also, just because of Cullen, I have to hate him.
Fuck you.
It's confusing, just like Roque.
Yep, you are the Roke in my world. Uh, the other thing I wanted to just hit on, this is a red god illusion
Uh-oh.
maybe thing.
Let's go.
I have a big, I just feel like having reread this book and a half now, there's so much story or so much time devoted to Darrow talking about his home
Hmm.
and the veil and getting home and the family and the veil and all these things. I have zero faith that Darrow survives Red God. Not only do I not think he's going to make it through the book, I think he's going to die in the first like 100 pages. Maybe
Okay. Yeah.
if it's 800-page book, maybe in the first 400 pages. But
I
I
agree.
think we get the last half of Red God is Darrow less.
Yes. So it's going to be the gut punch in the beginning. For I'm going to say the first third of the book, and
Hmm.
we talked about this on a joint collab we had with Hail Reaper, and I feel like some of their questions were very cool in interpreting how do we go forward from here. And Darrow is he's part of the past now. He's the V for Vendetta. He created the uprising, but they can't complete it. It needs to go to the next generation to then decide how you need to move forward. His time is past. And I feel like he also is going to die. And I think his son is going to kind of pull up the mantle a little bit. But I also think Victra is going to be a huge pivotal player.
Mm.
But we talked about
I
that on
just
the other podcast, so I don't want to feel like I'm
yeah.
repeating myself.
No. But I think it's one of those things where, like, I think he's gonna get the veil, but I don't think he's ever gonna get the home
No, no. Well, yeah, he.
until he gets to the veil, and then Ragnar's little house will be there. But that's
He's
what I
not a
mean. Is
builder
like
though, so
exactly. So it's gonna be a shithole.
he took his time. I will say he gave
True,
him
true.
years
He
and
gave him
years. So
a decade.
yeah,
So
and then how much
anyhow,
time will
go
pass
ahead.
in between Lightbringer and Red God?
I don't know. I kind of hope that there's not much of
Much.
a time
Yeah.
jump.
Yeah.
I
Me
kind
too.
of feel like if it's another like 5 year gap or 10-year gap, it'll be too much to explain
Yeah.
what happened
It's
in
more
the,
questions than answers.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think if it's anything, it'll be like weeks or a month or something that
Yeah.
has
I
passed.
agree. Just like time for
Um,
travel's sake and like for
yeah,
Lysander.
to
Well,
let the pieces kind of set up a little
yeah.
bit, but all right, Tight Beam. I have two emails in our email account right now from two howlers out there that have thrown their hats, their wolf
Yes.
cloaks into the ring to bring to life some fan fiction. One of them is a really excellent Holiday T Nakamura
100%.
um,
100%.
really fantastic piece. Once we have an idea of what we're going to do with it to release it, and then dates, we'll actually tag and put the person who gave the voice to Holiday in this. But
Nails
just
it.
so you know, it's out there. Yeah, pretty awesome. There's also a guy who's looking to get into the VO world and wants to throw his hat in the ring. And I think we have a story that might work for him coming up. I have a fan fiction I'm writing right now about the moment that Harnassus received orders to send the fleet back to uh, uh,
Away from Mercury.
Luna,
Yeah.
away from Mercury, his battle with Orion as to what they were going to do, what was legal, what was not legal, what was moral, what was not moral.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a fun one, but that'll require two people, 2 voices. So we'll see. And as far as movies, Holocan offering Off Planet, I am.
Hmm.
I've
Didn't
got
watch
nothing.
much? No?
I haven't watched much. Just it's that Revolutionary War
Yeah.
documentary, the Ken Burns one, which is pretty great. And oh, I finished for what I'm reading. I finished Empire of the Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Have you finished it yet?
So you'll be glad to know I have made it basically past the intro.
All right. Well, then we'll put a pin in it until you finish it, because there's much to be discussed.
I was a little hesitant at first, and was like, I'm not going to remember much. But then they did a very good job. Christoph did a sweet job, kind of recapping, and I just dove right into it. I'm listening to Audible. I have the book to read, but it's just easier on Audible to and from work, and I'm immediately loving it. But I'm not very far in, so.
If you know, we'll put a pin in it entirely, because it's all about. All I want to talk about is the last 100 pages. Yeah. So, we'll wait until you get there.
To anyone else who hasn't read or hasn't started the third book, but you know the series, it was so easy and enjoyable to jump right back into that mindset, that story,
it took
everything
no effort,
about it.
Really.
It was like, oh, I'm back. I'm hooked right into it. It took no time at all. And I'm curious to see how much pain is going to play out. The only other Holocan I did see was I haven't watched The Perfect Neighbor, but I watched the Carmen Family Deaths on Netflix, which it's an hour and a half long documentary. It's a New England family.
Yeah.
Very bizarre story. I don't understand why why people keep putting themselves in certain situations. Like, at some point you have to take a good hard look at your life and your situation and just be like, this isn't a good idea to do this or to agree to it. But I have decided, under no circumstance at all should a severely autistic person be interrogated alone by law enforcement.
No.
Ever.
Never.
It seemed to me that the police in this, and they had the interrogation video, and they're using his body language and his social awkwardness 100% against him. And to be fair, I think deep down this kid might have actually killed his mother, but how they were manipulating it, it's like, well, your job's to find the facts. And right now you're using somebody that clearly has social cue issues and like using that as facts and reason. Well, it's like, no, you need more than that. And they use it against him. And
literally anytime a detective in any documentary says, well, they were acting weird when their response was not what, every time somebody says that, I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, everybody acts weird, and particularly an autistic person, you'd have no idea what their response to interrogation or death or any, like, you could not predict that.
No, and that's what makes it like trippy, but you need to understand that, and they should have had somebody there that was experienced in dealing with autism to be like, okay, no, like, these are the questions, this is like, that's a normal response. Or it really annoyed me. It was a good documentary. It was short. It doesn't really answer anything. It just kind of throws the story out there and tells you how screwed up it is. But
Well, and also the kid commits suicide, so
He
there's really
does.
no
Yeah.
closure at all. It's not even like he's in jail awaiting
No.
trial or retrial or anything. It's just it's over, and it's a mystery that will probably be forever because
Yeah.
But
There's no way
it
of
was a
knowing
well
now
done
anything.
documentary.
Yeah. They never found the mother's body or anything. It's why are you getting
No.
on the shitty fishing vessel and then going hundreds of miles off into the direct
Hmm.
ocean? It it's just stupid. But yeah, that was the only
Beggars.
other documentary I watched.
It was a good one. I think
Yeah.
it was pretty entertaining. The creator corner for this week. Now I don't have any artwork of this particular person's, but I will try at some point to get a
I
hold of it. But
tried.
unfortunately, no, I mean very fortunately,
Yeah.
she sold out. She had a big
Immediately.
drop. Was it Saturday morning or Friday morning?
Friday at 5 p.m.
Friday at 5 p.m. Lehigh Glass, who has some awesome, truly, really like
Yeah.
very friggin' cool shit.
Yep.
One of them is Ragnar's little house with the smoke
Yes.
billowing up the chimney. I love that one. I like
Yep.
that's like my favorite thing that I've seen in
Yep.
any of the stuff.
And they're good
It
sized
just
pieces. That's like a
it's yeah, it's
14
like
by
a
9
legitimate
or,
piece.
it's a
I know.
huge piece.
It's crazy. So anyhow, she posted that she had a big drop of product, and then pretty quickly after that, she was sold out.
Yeah.
Which I think is such a cool thing. Both the Violet Clay work and Lehigh Glass having so much support shown
Yeah.
for them. I
And
just
this
want
is
to
a
commend
side job.
everybody out
This is
there.
her hobby. It's not,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
works full time
But
and then does
hopefully,
that.
it can become more than that,
Yeah.
if it leads towards that kind of freedom of movement for these creatives to pour more of themselves into their hobbies and their art, then
And,
that's the point. That's the goal.
and
So that's
that's,
just good on her, good on everybody that bought something, and just keep it up. The next time you see any one of these creators putting out something, just try and throw some pennies in that direction.
And that's
I think
something I
it's
wanted
important.
to touch on. Like they lit escalates and all those guys and these book series and special editions and those things are awesome and it's sweet to collect. But what I found in this community is everyone. They're all content creators, people creating their own masterpieces, their own unique one-off takes, and they post them and they sell out and people buy them up. It's just as important to me as those like official lit escalates pieces,
Oh
and
yeah.
almost more so. And it's like
Oh
I
yeah.
always want to keep promoting everyone's hard work and dedication just as much as the official books and artwork from that. So it's a
Well, the
really
official
fascinating
ones
community.
are cool, and they are great and good to collect. But I would say, if maybe instead of buying another copy of Red Rising,
Hmm.
although I don't know, the one that they just released that's coming out next spring looks pretty
Or
badass.
March.
But
Yeah.
why not both? Why not buy the new lit
Why not go into
Escalade
debt?
and go and get a stained
Yeah.
glass from Lehigh Glass? Particularly if you want to get like I think she's got the fox head or the wolf head,
She's got the
the Aries
Howler
helm.
sigil.
Yeah,
That's what I
and
tried to
then
get on. I went on. I had a notice on my phone, and then for some reason I missed 5 o'clock. I looked, and it was 6 o'clock. I go, oh shit! I went online. Yep, it was all sold out. And I was like, you know
crazy.
what? That's awesome. I sent a message and be like,
Yeah,
congrats. That's amazing.
super cool.
Keep it
But
up.
we'll share the. I'm gonna try and get a picture of the little house in the
Yeah.
Vale, and I'll share it on the clip. But other than that, I've got nothing. So again, if you want to connect with us, if you've got anything you want to share, if you've got a fan fiction of your own that you want to share, if you've got any kind of artwork or anything, reach out to us. It's the Sons of Aries pod on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Yep.
And then it's the Sons of Aries podcast at gmail.com. If you have any questions, any type beams, comments, anything like that, just email us over there. Rate, review, and subscribe. Next episode
Hmm.
is a twofer.
Yeah.
We are going to be
Exciting.
covering chapters 11 and 12, which are I should have had this ready to go.
Actually, where's my book?
Um,
There it is.
11 and 12 is the world famous Gala,
Yep.
and it is chapter 11, Red, and chapter 12, Blood for Blood.
Hmm.
And
Pivotal
the
chapters.
first sentence of chapter 11, Darrow, tonight I killed 2,000 of humanity's great. I
Yep.
mean, pretty badass way to open a chapter. And it's pivotal. And we have a very special guest host, a person, a third party, a third wheel has joined the team to present this chapter. It is something that we will tease ahead on our socials, and we will release that. Well, your episode will be up Monday, mine will be up Friday, so then hers will be up on
Monday.
next Monday.
Yeah.
So a week from tomorrow, you'll have all your Gala tea, I guess, is what they call it.
Yeah.
And we have a special shout out for that episode that should go out to Beer is the Mind Killer for the t-shirts that he was hooking us up with that are phenomenal.
Yes.
Like really cool. We'll show the artwork on those and we'll post them as well. Other than that, do you have anything you want to close out with?
No, sir. Well, besides actually one quote, which is part 2, chapter 12, is, if you're a fox, play the hare. If you're a hare, play the fox. Lauren R. Arcos.
I was just going to say, is that my boy Lauren?
Yep,
I
that's
do
Lauren.
believe that sounds like Lauren.
Yep.
I love that.
And there are some quotes that I'm going to be throwing out during the week of chapter 11, because there's some stuff between Karnas and Darrow that I kind of want to... I love the quotes and the conversation they have, and I want to include that, because we didn't quite go on that specific part of these next 2 chapters, but...
Yeah, it's a different setup than what our normal setup is,
Yeah.
so it's not quite as granular in the chapters, so that might be a good
It's
idea.
still fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we could find some time in between to connect and do some short, like brief versions. Anyhow, I'm rambling, but we both did 1 hour and 8 minutes. That's not bad.
Ah, hell yeah.
All right, Valete.
For the rising.